click record and I have no clue about what is going to be spoken of here, which is so liberating to not have to think about what to say, how to say it, how it will be perceived by apparent others. What to say, really? There's just an energy that wants to express. Sometimes it comes through in poetry. Quite often it does, as some of you know. But often it just comes about as whatever the moment asks for. It always comes about as whatever the moment asks for. What does this moment require? And if I, I'm using concessions here because there really isn't a moment that comes and goes, is here it comes, oh, now it's here, oh, there it goes. No, there's an eternal moment. And, at some point it's just seen that whatever the moment is asking for, that's what I am, because I'm nothing. And some people will run screaming for the door, or they'll click to the next video, which is just fine. This message is for everyone. It excludes no one. It isn't a special club, or only for those who have a certain IQ score or some kind of spiritual experience. No, this is our everyday, all day, all night, ceaseless experience of being aware. Not as a person being aware, but as awareness itself. Anytime you attribute anything to the person, it's an error. If you feel like you did it, or you wish you hadn't have done it, or you should have done it, that's the person, the ego, claiming responsibility or denying responsibility, and it's an illusion. And so a lot of people call this a journey, which, fine, we have to use words. Call it a journey, but the reality is that no one's going anywhere, because there is no one to go. We can use the metaphor of cloud cover obscuring the sun, which we are, and we are mistaking ourselves for this time-bound person with a name and a role in the world and successes and failures. But we're the one that's aware of all of that. When I say the one, it's capital T, capital O, the one. Call it what you will. Existence, awareness, consciousness, that, this, God, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter, it doesn't care. Oh God, some of you will understand that speaking of this and even just washing the dishes, it feels like one is on the edge of madness. And I'm not saying madness in a bad way, just that complete vulnerability of not knowing what's going on here, not trying to explain it or categorize or say it's good or bad. Just the experience of being aware of whatever is taking place, apparently externally, apparently internally. Because there really is no difference between internal and external. I'm not in the body. If I were in the body, then it would seem like there's a world out there. No, the body is in me. And when I say me, I mean you. I mean I am in the body, but the body is in me. Is the hole in the paper, or is the paper in the hole? This is a shift, a paradigm perceptual shift, a felt understanding that you are not finite and limited. That awareness is ceaseless. It never started and it doesn't end. It doesn't go away when we close our eyes or fall into deep sleep. When the body is awake, it is a means of measuring and weighing and observing and contrasting and judging and believing in this and that. It's a way of reporting what's happening in here and apparently out there. It's a way of reporting. That's all the body is. And the ego or the mind is a part of that system, the body mind. And it's necessary in order to function so that we can move about the world and interact in this what's called transactional world. Apparent subject, apparent object. But eventually it's seen that the subject and the object, it could be seen they arise together, but then it's seen that they aren't separate in any way. And so then what's the point of all this? Celebration? To recognize who you are clearly and establish oneself as that. Not as a person who has something or who has attained something. Not as a person who has become enlightened. There are no enlightened people, as we've heard teachers like Rupert Spira say. There are no enlightened persons because there are no persons. Imagine, we believe this world is full of 8 billion people with their own separate mind going about and doing things and avoiding things and seeking things. But in reality, there are 8 billion bodies, apparently, these appearances of these bodies, which are perspectives of consciousness. Not having their own separate agendas. It feels like that. It just feels like that. But there is no volition in the world. This is a volitionless world. There is no will to do things. One will claim they did it or chose it, or they're going to say, okay, I'm going to eat that grape. I'm going to eat that grape. Watch, I'm going to do it. And then they reach out and they eat the grape. And again, it's a very pervasive feeling that you are the doer, that you have volition and can make choices. And someone might say, well, then you sound like a robot. You're just, somehow living out some predestined. No. Again, I'll quote Rupert Spira, and he says God is a jazz musician, improvising all the time, changing. And let's be clear about that word, God. It's not the theistic God that's up in the sky with a white beard judging everything you do. No. It's just a placeholder. That word, we could call it flubberty-jubberty. It's just a placeholder for something that we cannot know with the mind, nor can we explain using words. It's like a finger pointing at the moon. The finger is useful in order to give us a direction, but if one concentrates on the word itself, then they're looking at the finger and they're missing the moon. I see so many apparent others like this one. I'm posting on YouTube now with the same message, the same enthusiasm and excitement about this grand cosmic joke and recognizing they're the punchline. I see so many apparent others in the same frame, this rectangle that's trying their best to speak about this, some very serious, some on the verge of laughter, some feeling as though there's a madness to this, which is so beautiful. There's so many now who are speaking about this and find a joy in speaking about this, not with an agenda, not to fix people, not to change anyone, not with an intention to make the world a better place. That's just how this expresses when there's no person there filtering what's coming out here. There's an impersonal communication of just this peace, harmony, oneness, happiness, contentment, abundance, lack of suffering. Can't do anything about the pain. Ha! You got a body just like I do. I stub my toe, it hurts. But the suffering is seen to be an addition. The story we tell about the stubbing of the toe. Ow! Why did you put that there? You made me do this. You shouldn't have put the couch there. Why did they build the third leg in the middle of the couch? That's stupid. That's suffering. The need to tell a story about why it happened to me. That falls away. And it's gorgeous because it's seen that there are no mistakes. Where it is challenging, even here, it can be challenging when there's a personal aspect to something. Meaning that a person, the energy of this bundle of thoughts and feelings and beliefs that arises, it may sometimes coalesce into me. You know, if somebody that's close to me or that I care about is in pain and suffering, you know, it can become difficult to separate oneself out of that and to recognize, oh, wait a minute, I'm not here and neither are they as a person, and there's no need for a personal view on this. The impersonal view is unconditional love. The personal view is conditional love. The personal view says, I love this person, I want them to be better, I don't like what's happening to them, I'll suffer along with them. And the personal view says, I have to figure this out for them, I have to figure this out for me. The impersonal view recognizes that actions arise to ease others' apparent suffering. Actions arise that can make the situation seem better. And sometimes actions arise that make the situation seem worse. But one can't know what will happen 3 iterations down the line, or 5 or 10. And so the impersonal, unconditional contribution that comes through without being filtered by the person is unconditional love. And sometimes the most appropriate action is no action. And I don't just mean no action in the world, I mean no action here. No judgment, no wishing for something to be different, no wishing to change things, no hope at all. 0 hope. Because hope is a wish for a different future. But if we're fully anchored here as awareness, observing, this is all we have. We don't have a future. We don't have a past. You can recall memories, yes, but we don't dwell there. We don't live in a museum, as I like to say. Here, now, what can be done? Nothing? Okay, then I rest. Or I go about my business, which is rest as well. When you're fully aware of who and what you are. And if an action presents itself, unfolds in a way that it appears as though something can be done, then it gets done. There's no trying to swim upstream against the current. There's just a recognition that this is what it is and could not be different. And to wish for something to be different is to suffer. To try and engineer and work hard at changing something personally, like I have failed and I need to fix this, or how did we get here, but why? No, that's suffering. There's a radical, as Tara Brach says, a radical acceptance of what this is, what is here now, with no need to explain it, justify it, push it away, or try to hang on to it tight. No, just this, as it is, with no lettuce, pickles, onion, ketchup, mustard, hot peppers, nothing added to it. Plain, unvarnished, as it is. So if you've stuck around this far and you're scratching your head, I have no advice for you. All I can say is that by listening, there is something that's hearing. What is that that's hearing? What is it that's aware of accepting some possibility of truth? What is it that's aware of resisting this message? What is it that's aware that runs away or tends to sit and listen? That which is aware of whatever circumstances appear, or whatever internal state appears, states coming and going. What's aware? What is it that doesn't come and go, that's aware of states, that's aware of circumstances? What is that? It's you. And you can't turn around and look at yourself. And so that's why this is so elusive, right? You'll never grasp this with the mind. And so there are different kinds of rest. There's rest from working. There's rest when we, lie down and take a break for the body. There's rejuvenation of the body through sleep. And then there is rest as repose. Sometimes repose refers to a person lying in a casket and we all file past and they're in repose. But I'm talking about resting as yourself, in yourself. Resting as awareness, in repose. It's complete nourishment and complete rest. The mind is somewhat confounded by this and may get crazy, or it may just fall silent. Coming home and recognizing you never left is the most sweet repose. Ask yourself, who is aware of the sound of these words?